Let's now go to someone very different than Chris Christie. And I'm talking about Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis put forth a plan yesterday on Fox News, so insane, so ridiculous, and so deranged that even Fox News host Martha MacCallum is visibly skeptical and obviously doesn't buy it. DeSantis was asked whether he wants to eliminate any agencies, and he mentioned not only 3 entire agencies, departments, commerce, energy, and education, but he said he would eliminate the IRS, which is so ridiculous. But then the thing he says after that is almost worse. Take a listen.
Are you in favor of eliminating any agencies? I know conservatives in the past have talked about closing the Department of Education. Would you do that?
So we would do education, we would do commerce, we do energy, and we would do IRS. And so if Congress will work with me on doing that, we'll be able to reduce the size and scope of government. But what I'm also going to do, Martha, is be prepared if Congress won't go that far. I'm going to use those agencies to push back against woke ideology and against the leftism that we see creeping into all institutions of American life. So, for example, with Department of Education, we reverse all the transgender sports stuff. Women's sports should be protected. We reverse policies trying to inject the curriculum into our schools. That will all be gone. We will make sure we have an accreditation system for higher ed, which is not trying to foment more things like DEI and CRT. So we'll be prepared to do both. Either way, it'll be a win for conservatives.
Imagine for a second if a Democratic presidential candidate said, I will be using the IRS, the Department of Commerce, the Department of Education, and the Department of Energy to destroy conservatism. Imagine for a second if a Democratic president ever said something like that. They would be calling for their head. They would be saying, lock him or her up. Rick Wilson tweeted, I'll either eliminate these agencies or use them to destroy my political enemies, said every authoritarian in the history of ever. This is outrageous. This is a dangerous extremist. And by the way, give me a break, dude. This is in the style of the Trump promises. Anyone with any common sense knows it will never happen. He's not going to get rid, certainly he's not going to get rid of the IRS. And I don't think if he was president, he would get rid of the Department of Education or the Department of Commerce or the Department of Energy, which was the other one. This is sort of like Mexico's going to pay to build our wall across the entire U.S.-Mexico border, and I will solve the Israeli-Palestinian conflict in my first term. We all know you're not doing any of that. And after the fact, some people defend it by saying, well, it was aspirational. It's what he wanted to do. Don't we want to hold our presidential candidates in terms of the promises they make, at least to some degree, to things that are remotely possible? So this reminds me of the classic moment where Rick Perry, during his failed bid for the Republican presidential nomination, also wanted to remove a bunch of departments, but forgot which ones. This is a classic.
And I will tell you, it's 3 agencies of government when I get there that are gone.
Is it?
Commerce, education, and the, what's the third one there? Let's see. Oh, 5. Okay. So commerce, education, and the
EPA?
EPA. There you go. No, okay.
Let's talk deposition.
Seriously? Is EPA the one you were talking about? Or?
No, sir. No, sir. We were talking about the agencies of government. The EPA needs to be rebuilt.
I don't know. Remove them all.
No doubt about that.
But you can't name the third one?
The third agency of government, yeah. I would do away with the education, the commerce, and let's see. I can't. The third. Sorry.
Yeah. Listen, they're not getting rid of any of these things, but they are extraordinarily dangerous people. And the fact that DeSantis is willing to say, I'll get rid of the IRS, what we of course need to do, if you actually want to take seriously the idea of people who are not paying their fair share, and you actually need to scale up the IRS. You need to give the IRS the resources to actually conduct audits. And we know that the multiplier effect, the return on IRS audit agents to target extraordinarily high income individuals is an extremely profitable thing. And as I've said before, if you hire an IRS agent for 70 grand and they're mostly auditing people making 30 grand, even if those people underpaid their taxes by 10 or 15%, you're not going to recover very much money. But we know that the very rich underpay. And I don't mean underpay from a political or moral standpoint. I just mean they're not paying what the law currently says they should pay based on the tax code. It's not legal loopholes. It's not, they're just putting in the wrong information. They're not paying what they should pay under current law. It's extremely profitable from the standpoint of what you pay the IRS agents versus what you end up recovering in people who didn't pay what they're supposed to pay. That's the direction we should go, not getting rid of the IRS. But again, it's another one of these virtue signals. IRS is now bad. It's political. It's armed agents, blah, blah, blah. Ron DeSantis, even if he becomes president, is not getting rid of the IRS. Think of your most personal emails. If you're using a free email provider, you should know that they're scanning every email you send and receive, even after you delete it. They're usually using the data to build a picture of your life to show you ads, which many find creepy. Our sponsor, StartMail, never scans or tracks your emails. Privacy is what comes first. And unlike other email services, when you delete an email in StartMail, it is gone forever. It also protects your data by blocking tracking pixels in emails, which companies and hackers can use to track you. You can create unlimited email aliases to protect your identity and cut down on spam. You can encrypt every email you send, even if the recipient isn't using encryption. StartMail gives you 20 gigs of storage. That's more than you get on Gmail. And it only takes a few clicks to migrate all of your emails and contacts over to StartMail. Go to startmail.com/Pacman to get 50% off your first year. That's only about $2 a month. The link is down below.